All right, but I'm happy to say that we have here Dr. Khalid Abdul Hamid, Director of Service Industry Division. He's from Ministry of Economic Affairs Malaysia. He's here representing the ministry. And next to him, we have Dr. Afifi Al-Akiti, who is the permanent member of Malaysia HALAL Council and also a fellow of the Oxford Centre for Islamic Studies. He's based in London, and Orang Besar Lapan Perak. All right. And next to him is Mr. Hani Sofian Alias. He's the Vice President of Industry Development, Halal Industry Development Corporation, or HDC, which is the organizer of this World Conference. And at the far end...
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Durga. I'm from Islamic Finance News. My question is, halal companies now have choice to choose between conventional or Islamic finance for their business. So is there any initiative from the ministry to either encourage Islamic financing for halal company or even make it compulsory for halal companies to ensure full compliance? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. It's not an easy question though to answer. But the thing is, just on halal, there is already a council called finance something on the halal that looks or oversees on the what do you call it, the financial system, how it works and things like that. The idea is that it should be packaging the whole industry, something like you have from the upstream to downstream. You have products, you have services and things like that. It has to bind together. You can't have something like a finance which is conventional, but at the other end is halal, so it's not jive together. If you want to be a sustainable affair, it must be, all in line together in a halal system. If you want to...
Sure, thank you. I'll just add to this, particularly from the Majlis Halal Malaysia, Malaysia Halal Council, which is basically the body board that looks at halal development, particularly in this country. We coordinate across 340 agencies here in Malaysia, across 12 ministries and 3 core ministries, namely JAKIM, under the Prime Minister's Office, and the Ministry of Economic Affairs, and the Ministry of International Trade and Industry. So now, the question is an important one, particularly the development of the halal industry, particularly in order to cut this halal economy. So I think the question is a very important one, and as I mentioned in my presentation earlier, you see, the Islamic finance industry is well ahead of the halal industry. So much so that we can say that in the Islamic finance industry case, we can say they actually have an ecosystem. There's an end-to-end ecosystem there, very clear. So we have, for example, the government ensuring that we have regulators like Bank Negara playing its role together with Securities Commission, and all of the stakeholders, for example, playing their part. One of the issues that we find, of course, in the halal industry is that, of course, JAKIM has done a very good job in terms of internationalizing their certification, halal branding. But we need to go to the next level, and that is precisely, as you said in the question here, looking at the issue of trade finance, particularly the issue of Islamic trade finance. This is, I think, the next step. What's interesting is that, given the good news, and we should be proud of and we've witnessed the good news, the success stories of Islamic finance globally, and particularly here in Malaysia, which has led the story in the world of Islamic finance. It is striking, however, that Islamic trade finance or Sharia compliant trade finance represents only a very small minority of the global trade finance, which amounts to only 1.5% globally. And this is data going back to 2016. So there's no question that we're looking into this. I happen to be on the board of Maybank as well, Maybank Islamic, for example, and this is also an issue that Islamic banks want to push more for this. We will need essentially regulators and the government to come in to come up with policies that will essentially encourage multinational companies, for example, to ensure there is end-to-end compliance. So back in 2014, through their major report called the Halal Economy Report, published in 2014, very clearly stated that a holistic end-to-end Sharia compliant culture in the halal industry has to be established. What they mean by that is that we need to integrate the halal industry with Islamic finance. So this is the next step, this is the next level, and I think it will be the responsibility of government agencies like the Halal Development Corporation under the Ministry of Economic Affairs to ensure to drive this project forward. Because gone are the days now we're worried about certification issues. I think those are the kind of the basics that I've done. This bit about trade finance is key. So if you look at the figures, 1.5%, the potential there is very, very clear. The potential for sukuk financing in this has yet to be realized according to Bank Negara. So the Majlis Halal Malaysia, of course, which is the apex body looking at this through the perkenan and consent of Conference of Rulers, they agreed to setting up of this Majlis Halal Malaysia, chaired by the Deputy Prime Minister, any Deputy Prime Minister. So he started off, in fact, I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, with the previous Deputy Prime Minister, and now we have a new Deputy Prime Minister. So again, it shows that how the system works. So there is this Majlis Halal in Malaysia, members of which composed of those 12 ministries and representation from all the state governments that all have a stake, they are all stakeholders basically in the halal industry. And this is the major issue that we're looking at. And so we hope that you will watch this space. So I hope you will be able to report on this and in fact push as a good reporter as you would be, push the government really to make sure. So I think at the board level, this is something that we're well aware of. Thank you.
Add a bit, in terms of policy, currently Islamic financing is not mandatory, it's still voluntary to the halal companies. So for SGC, what we are doing right now, we are partnering with IB. Today in the WORLDHALAL Conference 2019 today, we have IB as our partners. IB stands for Association of Islamic Banking Malaysia, to promote Islamic financing seductions or utilizations by our halal certified companies. So there's a campaign going on, we call it financing, why not halal, halal industry, why not halal financing, halal industry, why not Islamic financing. So we want to promote more our halal industry players to adopt or to utilize halal financings in their business.
Khalid, Azri from Malaysia. I just want to ask you, we are now looking into a digital economy, the fourth industrial revolution. So what do you think the contribution of the halal economy into the digital economy, the contributions, since government is promoting of Internet of Things on halal industry? So what is the target for digital economy, specifically in halal?
Well, I don't have the numbers with me, but the thing is, what you have in the economy is the starting up of OIR. We are not up to like China. You have this automatic parking, automatic hotel. You can just put your eyes in front of the the door and it's open and things like that. We are not yet to that part. But the thing is, everything is starting up. Like AI, some the activities in tourism has already put in place. How to, they can lure tourists from outside to come in Malaysia to that AI. And in ministries also there are already such program to look what is the people around us think about certain part or issues and things like that. Even in fact in halal, maybe cost of living and things like that, it's already there. It's in the making. I could not say something like it is like 5 or 10% or something like that, but everybody is looking forward it. They are spending it, investing in it, and I think this is a big thing coming up. In fact, if you look at the front where the conference is, you have the blockchains already there. But the thing is whether you want everybody to use it. It takes a little bit of time to It's the same thing like, we don't have ATM previously, or even online banking. It comes gradually when people think that, I don't have the time to, queue in ATM and things like that, so just go online. And nowadays, you go ATM, any other bank or different banks, you are being charged RM1 and things like that. So you would like to go to online because it is free. So I think it is the potential is big. It's something like banking just now also. But the thing is, it also needs something like, it's not just capital, it is the culture, whether we want or not to do things in 4IR ways.
If I just add very briefly, Dr. Khalid, very interesting, Dr. Khalid just put in a plug-in, which is interesting just after the ministry level session just now. We were given a demonstration, and I think all of you can actually check this out, just level 1, outside of the conference hall. I think the HTC people there, they're demonstrating how blockchain technology-based certification process takes place and can take place. Very, very interesting. It's the sort of thing that if I had known about it during my ministerial level presentation, I would have used that as the example of, this is exactly the fourth industrial revolution, an example of using not just an app, but blockchain technology to ensure that every halal certificate cannot be dipalsukan, you cannot fabricate it, and it's a living proof of, of the thing that you actually have, and you can even zero in as to where exactly you are. So it's very interesting. This apparently makes the certification process. We always hear the complaints from Jakim and all this, so lambat, sorry, this is not Oxford English. So lambat, you cannot take the halal certificate, certification to be done speedily. Apparently, this will speed up the halal certification process by 3,000%. So I think we will need to then ensure, and certainly the Conference of Rulers aside, to our, because I happen to also be the deputy chair of the Jabatan Besar Tertinggi Majlis Raja Halal Islam, high-level panel for the Conference of Rulers on federal administration of Islam. Of course, we're looking at JAKIM and all this, and reforming and restructuring things. I think this is one area where I think if the old guard is not willing to kind of move on this, we need to move them to make you move on this, because it's very key and very clear that you can actually speed up the certification process, I think, as a result. So just go outside the conference hall, level 1. Thank you.
But Dr. Kai, I wonder, do you have put any certain target on how much halal industry to be contributed to the digital economy?
If you talk about the output, the export is now already about 40 billion or so. If you have the numbers.
It's the other way around. We have a target of contributions of halal towards our GDP. In 2017, the contribution is about 7.5%. By the year of 2020, we are targeting 8.7% contributions to the GDP. How technology plays in this contribution is that, based on our experience with the industry player, we discuss how technology can improve their productivity, their competitiveness, whether the use of IR 4.0 can speed up their products on market, can reduce the cost of productions. So this is more important. If we can reduce or we can be more competitive in some productions, then our contributions to GDP will also increase.
Hi, Lydia from NST. So just now you said the contribution of halal industry is 7.5 to the GDP in 2017. Is the numbers for 2018 year end out yet? What would that be?
The GDP calculation is done on a study basis. This is not an annual figures, so it's going to be done next for 2020.
So that means it's every 5 years.
Over 5 years.
Okay, but no, so you don't have the numbers for 2018 year end then? No.
Not yet, at least.
Not yet. Okay. I have a question just now about trade finance, right? This conversation about using Sharia compliant financing in trade finance has been around for about if I remember correctly, it's been an ongoing conversation, 3-4 years at least. But there's nothing much that's been done because the focus in Malaysia at least is in sukuk. Focus in sukuk because we are the primary issue of sukuk in the world. So from your point of view and from your expertise at the panel, what do you think we can do to push this forward into this untapped market?
Well, this is where I think both on the ground, the banks will have to play their part and their role, particularly in opening and trying to get access to particularly many multinational companies like Nestle, for example, and others to go into Islamic financing. That's key, that's very important. Because many of the multinational, especially international companies, for example, dabble in halal products, goods and services, but as I said during my presentation, they may not be financed Islamically. And I think the banks will have to do their jobs there, at the corporate level to deal with that. But on the governmental side, this is the bit that we are now looking at, and we really can't share beyond the fact that perhaps one policy that we're looking at, particularly at the government side, and Majlis Halal Malaysia, of course, is to put that as part of the certification process, that you need to have end-to-end compliance. But we're still listening to, we're getting feedback from stakeholders. It's obviously a critical issue, a very important issue. Of course, if that does happen, that will certainly be a game changer in that respect, because 1.5% of the global trade on the Islamic side for trade finance it shows the potential for the growth there. to be very clear. And I think events like this will be very important, by the way. This is, I think, it's unprecedented that we have the World Halal Conference being organized in the same week as the Global Halal Summit and the Malaysian International Halal Showcase, MIHAS. So MIHAS, GSS, and WHC, for the first time, have been organized in the same week. So I jokingly say, but I think it shouldn't be a joke now, and I hope this will become a very good, as in Islamic tradition, we say, when you start a good tradition, whoever started it will always get rewarded by that, right? So this will be hopefully the Halal Davos week, and hopefully that this tradition continues. This is the first year that Malaysia is doing this, where instead of having 3 separate events in 1 year, in different months, you consolidate all of that into 1 week, right? And people from all over the country, all over, not just the country, all over the world converge to Malaysia for this. And it will be very good, particularly during, especially sessions like this so-called Halal Davos, in Malaysia. You push agenda like, what is the next big thing? i.e. trade finance, Islamic trade finance, for example, for us to be able to see the next, ecosystem, i.e. for halal. We've seen that already for Islamic finance. Islamic finance is going through a stage where we're looking at Islamic finance 2.0 is already there, but we haven't seen this in the halal industry yet. So we do need to see that, and I think that is a major component to that. Both the government and the private sector will need to play their role to facilitate this, of course. Yeah. And Malaysia must not lose its leadership, I think, in this. We have a lot of competition globally, and I think by consolidating the 3 major international events into 1 week is a very interesting experiment, and I do hope that this, as I said to the ministry and the ministers here actually, that it will start a good tradition and it will last. So make this your Davos Halal Week, which is based in Malaysia, alhamdulillah, and every year people will know the calendar, they come here, and you can then set the agenda then. So don't lose the ball like the England team whenever they lose the World Cup.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Maksud Ahmed. I'm from the Halal Times, and as you just mentioned, it's at the end that basically Malaysia has been the leader in most of the Islamic economy sectors up until now. But recently, as you mentioned, that some other players, according to the latest Thomson Reuters Islamic economy report, some other players have been catching up very fast. Especially as far as I'm more into Islamic finance. So as far as Islamic finance industry is concerned, UAE maybe is becoming the most important player, at least one of the most important player. So my question is basically, what are specific actions, what are the specific policies which you are undertaking just to maintain your leadership role as far as the Islamic economy industry or globally is concerned?
Okay.
And one more question, related question. And what are the gaps which you still think that maybe Malaysia country need to work on just to keep maintain the leadership?
Yeah, I think before I pass on to the ministry side, I would say certainly from the National Halal Council side, the Malaysia Halal Council side, I think one important thing that we do have currently, given that we are in pole position, is the knowledge. And indeed, we have the thought leadership there, and that is the bit that we must not surrender and we must not, lag behind. And I think in that respect, it's very interesting. For instance, JAKIM plays a major role across various countries. So we have, for example, today the deputy, the minister from Korea and the minister from the Philippines. So both of them were saying how, through G2G, government-to-government initiatives, essentially through JAKIM, for example, in this case, that they're providing essentially, consultation and advice even for free. And that's partly to help out, start out, other countries with their own halal industries and their own halal economies. So I think that bit is quite interesting. Malaysia being a leader, I think, in that field. But they are being magnanimous as well in not wanting to monopolize, if you like, the field. But having said that, and as I said earlier, the philosophy of halal should go beyond just the preparation of food. Right? As I said earlier, the preparation of food is of course the origin reason why we have the halal industry in the first place. And it should go beyond the habits governing one's consumption, one's behavior and one's lifestyle. It should also be about an ethical and wholesome way of doing business and way of life. And I think if we're able to actually market it that way, and I think this is where now, I think the next level of, at the more soft level here, rather than we were talking about trade finance earlier, but we're not talking about more the leadership thoughts bit. I think if we focus on that bit to show that the halal has more to do with fulfilling the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, the 17 UN SDGs, for example. Will put us in a much better position than, of course, those of us who may want to simply stick onto the halal label in order to fulfill one's religious commandments, let's say, for that. And that's why the balance, on the one hand, in order to provide the availability of halal products, goods and services to Muslims worldwide is important, but we need to balance that with encouraging non-Muslims, right, to see halal products, goods and services are also viable options for themselves and for them as well. And especially in this climate of, as I mentioned earlier, this Islamophobia and the species of that, the halal phobia, as we saw the example in Paris, in France in 2017, rather in a very reactionary policy by the French government. Certainly when one of their courts, for example, closed down a halal supermarket to because why? Because the supermarket does not sell pork or alcohol. And this goes against their national philosophy of their laicity, their very strict secular philosophy there, is of course very, it's a tragic thing. Nevertheless, people actually in the industry, we in Malaysia, for example, are aware of the challenges there. This is why when it comes to the branding of it, we have to ask the tough question as to whether, do we need to segment markets along identity and religious lines? So it's an interesting question that the people in the position of thought leadership in this particular field are now asking, of course, you see. So watch the space, and Malaysia will continue to be dynamic, I'm sure, on this. But at the same time, we do not want to hoard and monopolize the thing. We're brothers of mankind and sisters of mankind as well. Thank you.